And here we
Hello.
are. Hello, Dan. How are you?
Finally.
Finally, it's good to talk to you. How are you
You
doing?
too, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just keeping busy and keeping occupied and staying out of trouble and trying to keep moving in one direction, the forward direction. What about you? What's going on?
Similar kind of vibe.
Yeah,
Just keep going through all the craziness of it all.
yeah,
Yeah, things are come back to normal now. I think last time we spoke. So,
yeah,
a relative normality.
yeah. It was crazy last time. I think has it been a year since we talked like officially? I
I
think
think
it's been.
so, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
things were just kind of. I don't know. It was kind of like unsure. You were kind of like, well, some things are open, some things are not. We can't do a whole lot of things. You were kind of on the seat, on the fence, kind of figure out what was going on. But now, in the year, what's kind of what have you been up to? Let's start back. What have you been up to in the last year?
Things open. Things. Well, I think last time we spoke, I'm not sure. I think I was gigging a little bit.
Yeah, a very little bit.
Yeah. Where now I'm back on it. I've been doing like sort of like 25 performances a month
Nice.
and recording for new projects and um, yeah, building new connections like that. This is the first podcast I've done this year.
Oh yeah, well, I'm honored. Thank
So,
you. Thank you for making
well,
it. Thanking it for making it with me. Thank you for making it with
no,
me.
it's perfect way to start. Perfect
Yeah,
way to
yeah,
start.
exactly. I saw a bunch of posts you've got on the Dan Hughes music page that you played some really intimate venues, some different places around, I guess, your area. What are they like? What's it been like doing that, getting out in front of people, even if it is a small space?
Yeah, so like I've like in the UK, I kind of previously I kind of like sort of stayed within my area and then gigged abroad more. But because going abroad has been more difficult recently, I've sort of like actively pushed my boundaries and gone further out in the UK.
Nice.
So a lot of the venues I play at the moment are further out than what I'm used to.
Are you excited by that? Are you happy about that? That you're getting gigs further away from your base?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Like there's an excitement about playing new places. I think experiencing new things.
yeah. Is it hard?
Even like you must get as well in Canada. Like one state from another state is different. It's a
Yeah,
different vibe. It's the same
yeah,
in England. It's like one
yeah,
area of the UK is completely different to the area I'm from, or so
yeah. Is it
you
your
have
first?
to leave to travel, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Is it your first time getting out to some of these places, like whether it be personally for yourself or just with your band or with your music?
Um, yeah, so like quite a lot of the places that are the first time in terms of playing, and sometimes first time full stop.
Yeah,
So
nice. Yeah. Is it
um,
hard to I guess travel around? Because are you traveling just with yourself acoustic show or is it with the DHT band? Who are you going with? Is it just you?
um, a mixture of both. Like the other week, I did a gig with the band, and the drone doesn't drive, and I have like a modest sort of size car. I
So
couldn't
the,
believe the amount of shit I've put in my car.
like a big
I
drum
got to the
set,
gig
a
and
big
like,
riser? Was it a big kit?
yeah, it was a big kit.
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, how the hell am I going to get this in here? Like, but we did. So,
Wow. What kind of
and
car do
then
you have?
we are doing solo shows as well. Um, so I've got quite a big one next month in a place called Malvern, which is like a it's like set in like quite big hills. So
Oh,
like the
nice.
BBC are gonna be there and stuff like that. It's nearly 10,000 people. It's a big festival. So I'm
So
kind of stoked about that. It's quite exciting.
yeah. So do I get you right that you're kind of doing a mixture of your solo stuff and then with DHT? Like, how do you kind of differentiate that? Like, how do you know when you're going to be doing a DHT little, I guess, show run of tours, or how do you know when you're doing solo stuff? Like, do you mix it all together? Like, how do you keep it track of it?
Well, to be brutally honest, what decides whether it's a solo or a band gig is finance.
Right.
So if it's not enough for the band to come out, then I'll do it on my own, or sometimes some venues are just better to play on your own than they are in with the full band if there's not enough room, or you know. I suppose the thing is like it's different. In North America, there's a lot of bars, right? Where
Yeah.
in Britain, there's more pubs.
Right.
So some pubs can be huge, and some pubs can be like someone's front room. So
Yeah, I noticed from the pictures of some of the pubs you've been playing at, the post, it looks pretty small. Like it looks like the people are kind of sitting
yeah,
there and you're literally almost at their table, like you're actually
literally,
playing literally
yeah,
for
yeah,
them. Yeah.
yeah.
How do you feel
But
about that? Do you feel like kind of intimidated by it, or do you like being that close to people? How do you feel?
I'm used to it because it's what like it's more weirder when I go abroad and there's bars and it's like there's space
Right.
because it's not what I'm used to. Like um, whereas like a small like gigs like that are kind of in a way not normal for me.
Right. And that helps you decide if you know what venue, if you've been to a place, you know, okay, well, this is going to be just room for me and maybe another guitar player, another singer. It's just me doing acoustic shows. But if you
Yeah,
have like a stage or a space, I guess you can bring the rest of the guys, the other two guys in the trio, right? So you kind of know, you kind of have to know ahead of time what venue or what place you're going to play. And can you fit you? Can you fit
but it's kind
two
of
other
loose
guys?
because it has to be kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it has to be like it's like like this weekend I'm playing on my own, then playing in a duo, then playing in a full band. It's like it's whatever works for like I think like I don't know what it's like out there, but band culture's changed here. It's a lot harder to be in a band,
How so? Like, how would you say?
like to make it viable on a long-term basis. If that makes sense. Like in terms of like going hitting the road and doing gigs, and a lot of the venues like only have a budget for one person or two person, or so it's like and it's not all about finance. But if you're on the road and you're traveling, it needs to work, right?
Right, right. So you're
So
saying some venues, some places, well, we don't have money to cover your whole band cost. We're not going to pay you a guarantee for it's just, keep it minimal. And some places have more of a budget. Is that kind of
exactly,
what you're
yeah,
looking at? Yeah.
yeah.
For people that don't know. So that kind of dictates how you're going to do that dictates how you're going to do your tour, but does that frustrate you because, okay, well, this day I don't know if I'm playing just by myself. I don't know if the guy should come with me. Like I know it's close by, but how do you like last minute? Like how do you function that way?
But it's never usually last minute. It's usually the gigs know the gig or know the gig like in advance.
Okay.
So then we'll know like the way to play in advance. Um, it's just the way it is now. So I suppose I'm kind of normal to it, and in a way, it's a good way because you're not like the drummer or the bass player or whatever can't get on your nerves if you only see him once a week.
Yeah, I guess so. True. You
Like
can
if
say,
you're going out 5 nights a week, then
yeah, this week you're with me for 2 days, and then the other 3 days I'm on my own, so I
kind of
can kind
thing.
of get a
Yeah,
break from you, and they can do their own thing too.
yeah.
Is it the same two guys always since we spoke? Are the same two guys in DHT
Um, yeah.
as well as yourself, obviously?
As a rule, but obviously if they can't make it, then like our bass player couldn't make our last gig, so Bob, so he we had to get someone else in just by the fact that he couldn't make it.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, it's the same. It's the same three, and then sometimes we'll add more people on or less people on.
Depends where you can fit and who you can bring into what venue. Yeah.
I suppose it's a bit like in a way like a bit like maybe like not musically, but like that like jam band scene in terms of the fact that it's
Yeah. Yeah.
like it's quite open because it has to be.
It's fluid. The kind of the band members, the feel is fluid.
Yeah,
Like people can come and go. It's always gonna be you're gonna be up there singing and playing, but the other people around you, musicians, are gonna
it'll be
change
different.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah,
And on record, it might be the same three guys, where you and two other guys, but
yeah,
live, you're gonna get a
yeah,
mixture of different people, which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool for people that dig that. Some people like to see the same people. Me personally, I always like to know the same people are coming to my town or show.
yeah.
But for if they know your history and they like your music and they know you're gonna get a Dan show. You might get Dan and this guy, that guy. It can be cool both ways.
I I would like that to be the like the set guys and us go on the road and stuff like that. But sometimes like it's like when you're independent artist, you got to do it. You got to do whatever's viable
Yeah.
to survive. So
Yeah.
like it'd be cool if I could just book a tour and all three of us go and it's we can make it work kind of thing. But it's not always the case, and people have got families and lives to lead as well.
Right, right, exactly. Has it changed now? I guess coming out of the pandemic, as opposed to before, where you've had maybe a little bit harder time booking the same three guys or same two guys.
How do you mean?
Like before the pandemic, when you guys were first on the road, before everything changed as far as venues and routing and stuff, was it always, for the most part, you and the same two guys? And then after the pandemic, people's lives have changed, and you have the same two guys are less on the road with you. Do you find this change because of that?
Um,
Like pre versus post pandemic, how has it changed as far as the guys with you touring?
I mean, I suppose the thing is like everybody's life's changed, isn't it? Because it's been like a 2 year break. So like 2 years like is a long time.
Yeah,
But
people's lives change.
you know what? It's pretty consistent, to be honest with you. Like in terms of members and like in terms of recording and stuff like that. And I think predominantly the reason that it works so well is because there's not so much pressure on them to have to be at every gig. So
Yeah,
again, like that, it kind of works in its own way, if that makes sense.
yeah, I get that too. They don't feel as pressured. Like I have to be there. Like if I don't do this, I'm gonna, either they don't have to make a decision where I'm either here or I have to quit the band. Like they know
Yeah.
their spot is there. They'll come back when they
Yeah.
can. Here's the days I'm available. I can come. I can play these shows. These ones I can't, and it works for you. It keeps
And
everyone's
I think
attitude
that's
better.
I think that's what I mean by how it's changed. Like band culture has changed because like say like the 90s or even the early thousands, like bands would be stuck to a contract of a record label, and
Yeah.
it's got to be the same 5 people, and
Yeah.
you got to do this and you got to do that. Whereas now it's become more independent,
Oh
and
yeah.
you're
Oh
doing
yeah.
your own thing more, right? So like you just make it work.
Yeah, I mean, there used to be back in the days when one member was down, someone, maybe the bassist, the drummer would be not able to do a show. The show was canceled. Like they wouldn't do the show. Now you've got guys in different bands, 5, 6 different bands. One guy can't make it. Maybe they tested positive for COVID. Someone else comes in and they replace them. They go back. The show must go on. People have
Sure.
passed away. The show goes on the next day. The machine keeps going these days. It's definitely different.
Yeah, it's a different animal, so it's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
You like how to survive is different,
Yeah.
and the budget isn't there. Like you'd have like massive advances back in
Yeah.
the 90s. You'd
That's
like where you'd
gone.
have blow loads of money on a recording
Recording
and
studios. Yeah, it's over, which is good and bad for sure in
yeah.
different ways. Yeah, it has its positives like anything.
I think the people that are into music are into it and they're doing it because it's not just about the money.
Yeah, for sure.
You become less money orientated because there's less money in it.
Yeah, 100%.
You're better off being an influencer or
Yeah,
being famous on Instagram or something.
yeah. Yeah, it's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
I'm Zoom famous. That's all I can get to these days is Zoom famous. I'm recognized by my Zoom videos, all 3 of them now at this point. I want to ask you about something I saw, man. I saw recently, or maybe it's not that recent, but maybe call me with the timeline. But I saw some music for the DHT. It's the debut album, Neil. Is that, and there was a song, Above the Clouds. Is that older music that you've re-released, or is that new out now? What is that? What are those music? What is the Neil record? Talk to me about that.
So the Neil album is our debut album that we released.
That was the first one. Okay.
Yeah. But I tend to post like tracks up on my Facebook page to keep like people relevant. And if new people come, they can listen to that track as well and be like, "Oh, that's the journey," and then I'll listen to it that way.
Yeah, because that's not where I found you. I remember. I forget the name of the record now. You have to remind me again. But that's not the record I first.
String EP.
Yeah. That's the one I first found you on. So going back and realizing I thought that was the first one. So realizing there was a record before that or albums before that, Neil, I was like, oh, what is this? Like, I just kind of stumbled on that.
Yes, that was our first album that we made back in 2016.
Wow.
Predominantly all in our homes. We just recorded it at home. It's kind of lo-fi, but in a good way, I think.
It sounds really cool. Like I heard the song, I think it's Above the Clouds, and I just love the music behind it. It sounds very Floydish actually, and it's very cool. I love what I've been hearing.
Yeah, certainly that period of time, we were massively into Floyd and like John Martin and Bruce Cockburn and Rush and quite a lot of Canadian bands and acts as well.
Yeah. I know we've talked about that many times
Yeah.
before as well too. I know your strong influences. I know where they
So,
come from.
certainly with like that album, definitely, for sure. Like that has that influence there, and String EP as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it feels like Thunder was the first thing I ever heard from you, and I know that was the first. That's where I jumped in. That's where I
yeah.
first started talking to you. So going back and hearing there's one before that or more before that, I was like, what am I getting this right? Was there one? What is Neil? Who is Neil? Was that a person? What was that based on? The title of your album that to by Neil.
Um, well, so many people have like really serious album titles, and
Yeah,
um, like it's all a bit kind of like really personal and deep and stuff like that. And we thought like, well, we don't want to go that way. We want to go the other way, and like we wanted people to question why is it called something. So
exactly.
like since the album, everybody, any country I play or any gig I play, it's like,
Who's
why is it
Neil?
called Neil?
Who's Neil? Yeah,
Because people remember it,
yeah,
right?
yeah. 100%.
So that's literally that is about as deep as it gets.
So there is no Neil. You're letting
It's
me
just
down now.
people remember it.
It's not a brother or a family
Yeah.
member. It's not
No,
someone who passed
no,
away. It's not someone related, someone who
no.
did you wrong. Damn. Well, maybe next record.
There's no deep story to that,
You can call
unfortunately.
your next record Chad and then just say you have no idea who that is.
I will.
Just get people talking about that. He's Zoom famous. That's who I'm talking about. That Zoom
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah. So what's other than obviously you've been really busy, which I know you're happy about playing shows, whether it be by yourself or with DHT. But as far as being creative, I think last time we spoke, you were working with another artist, another band. You did a like a kind of a collaboration.
Yeah,
Talk to
so
me
we
again
did
about that.
to DHT and C Drop from
Yes.
Taiwan.
Yes.
We ended up releasing 2 EPs. So like making the whole album is sometimes hard work. So quite often I release EPs.
Yeah.
I think people are more engaged in EPs than albums these days as well.
Yeah. 100%. How did remind me again how you how you found C Drop, how you guys started working together?
Um, I am I'm a over lockdown. I'm a member of a group for Taiwanese independent music,
Wow.
indie music, and we basically started talking there, and then we made an album.
Did they already have music out and you kind of heard it and you thought I want to be a part of that, or did they want to collaborate with you? They heard your music. How did the connection form? Because it's hard
Well,
to
she
make
can really can
connections.
shred. Like she can like I was quite she sent some music over to me. Um, and it was like quite like trippy. I was like, this is quite cool. Then she sent a video of me of her playing guitar, and she can shred, man. She's ridiculous. Like
Nice.
she's like really technical, and we were like, they're about really cool to do something like two worlds together kind of thing
Yeah.
collide, and it's kind of I think we have a certain sound together actually work.
How was it received? Did your fan base, the people who listen to your music, did they like it? Did the people who listen to her like it? Did you get some feedback on that?
I think people that like our music, which is obviously in abundance, like massive. we we I think in some ways probably prefer Neil. I think most people that listen to the music but like Neil the best.
The first record compared to
Yeah.
well, even when it comes to the other feels like thunder and
String
those other
EP.
songs, the DHT, yeah,
I
people
think
like
so
wow.
too.
I'm surprised to hear that. Well, I'm not
Really?
surprised is the wrong word. Maybe I guess I'm just kind of yeah. I'm a bit surprised because I just feel for a wider range. I feel like the other music is more maybe wider accessible versus maybe what's on Neil. I'm kind of surprised, but maybe people like what you did at the start because that's the first thing they've heard.
Well, I think that, like Neil's like a cult thing. I think the people that got into it at the time and that they were there and they listened to it and bought the EP and stuff like that.
Right.
Like it was like people. It's like a time and place thing. Well, I think the
Yeah.
String EP. Yeah, you're right. I think it is. Certainly feels like Thunder is probably the most sort of accessible song that I
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. And I
It's
think
my
so.
Wonderwall.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you know how commercial that is. Yeah. Well, it's true because that's where, so people who maybe have heard the first one, they didn't like what they heard on that one. But then people like me who come in on the Feels Like Thunder on that EP, people are like, wow, this is where it's at. Everyone's going to have a different reference point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the production and the songwriting is better on the string EP.
Yeah. Because you've improved upon what was already there too. And you have more
Yeah.
time to relearn. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure. Is there another EP after that with just you, DHT, or is the Sea Drop stuff the most recent stuff that you've released?
It was like a B-sides EP that I did. I was attempting to write under lockdown as I was going a bit crazy. I was trying to write a sort of concept record, but like they just ended up being like loads of loose songs. I did release that, but then I withdrew it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, because I was a bit like I'm not. Well, there's some really good stuff on there, but I feel like maybe that will come back at some point.
Was it just you by yourself with a guitar and vocals? Or did you have the other guys with you or work
Well,
on it?
some of the music was pretty out there. Like it was very different to like the string EP and Neil, and some of it was me and Bob write a lot together, and the bass player.
I was the bass player. Yep. Yep.
Like, well, I predominantly write the track, and he usually like I don't know, it's like a second ear really.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of that together on that record, but like I just didn't feel like it just didn't work. So I feel like
what didn't work? Like you just weren't satisfied with the outcome, with the production at the end. You didn't feel like it was worthy, like
I think we're
representative.
best when we're, if I'm pretty honest, I feel like we're best when we are all three of us are in a room together. I come in with ideas and then we jam it. That's when we're best.
Yeah, and that couldn't
When
happen.
it's a bit like demo-y and a bit kind of like we're very old school rock and roll, I suppose, in that way. It's like we like to make records in a room together and play together
Yeah.
and overdub it.
Yeah.
And when it isn't like that, it doesn't always sound like it's not what this project's about, I think.
How long was it out before you decided to pull it? Roughly
A few months.
a few months, and then did you get comments online about people who listened to it? Did you just feel okay? I listened to it. I don't want it out there. What made you decide? Okay, I'm pulling this.
People liked it. I think like well, people were saying were liking it at the tracks. I think the problem that we have quite a lot of the time is that we write very diversely. So like it's almost like too diverse in a way. Like we try and write too many genres of music on one album.
Throw too much stuff into the mix and too much
and then
too much in the kitchen.
when that works well, it works well.
Yeah.
But when it works well, it works well. When it doesn't work well,
it really doesn't work well. It's like a jumble. It's like a broken puzzle or pieces that don't match. Yeah. Yeah. I can understand that totally. So you just felt like the need to come down. You can try it again or do something differently.
Like with Neil, it worked well.
Yeah.
Because it was literally like a record we made. I think like most songs were written. The whole album took about sort of 3-4 months, and then we finished it.
I love the album art for Neil too. It looks like a downtown China or maybe downtown Japan. I'm not sure exactly, but where's
Tokyo? Yeah,
Tokyo.
There's a lot of Asian themes on our album.
I love it. I love it. Looks so cool. Talk to me about why you decided to go with that and what it kind of means to you. The album cover art for Neil.
The original there is 2 album covers for Neil.
Oh, is there? Okay. I only saw the one,
so
the Tokyo downtown.
The first one was made by our Rajesh Panda, who is like out from our label, and then we used that for the best part of like 3 years, and then we kind of like had to upload it again, and we used that picture of Japan in Tokyo.
Yeah, I really like it.
A lot of the songs have like Melt, the first song of the album, that is about traveling to Asia. So it's like very much like a journey. It's like that album is very much like a journey.
Okay, that makes sense. It's very, very cool and very it catches my eye too. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, this is nice. I had to ask you what the significance of it was. So that's cool.
And then the second EP is my friend's bar in Gangwon in South
Yeah.
Korea.
Yeah.
So there is a theme. There is definitely like an Asian theme running out through all the music.
Yeah. Is it hard to come
like
up with?
The first album is like Tokyo, and the second one's Korea, and then we got the collaboration with C Drop. So maybe the next one needs to be somewhere different.
Do a big Canadian flag.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think so.
That'll sell some copies. I'm telling.
That'll
move some units.
I think a lot of the EP, a lot of my writing is about my experience that when I travel or you know, like see different places. I think that's a lot of where my like songwriting comes from.
Do you find it hard, or is it even really a process for you? Do you think about it last? Okay, what's the album? Because most things are digital now, right? And really, it's about the songs, and people don't pay attention. They're not Pink Floyd covers like they used to be, right? People don't care as much about album art. So, do you think about it a lot? What you're going to put on your artwork when you do release something, or is it hard for you to come up with something?
I think people do still. I think there are a certain section of people that do really care about buying
physical stuff,
album artwork, stuff like that. They're very geeky into that, and they should be, because you can't beat it really.
Yeah, 100%.
Can't be here.
I'm there with you
on vinyl.
Yeah, I'm there with you 100%.
Like,
you know
it's
that.
Like you're in the room with it, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%.
Like a good album. Like what did me and Bob over lockdown would listen to loads of vinyl. Like we'd listen to like Floyd and Steely Dan and a Weezer Blue album and stuff like that. And it's just like all those records, it feels like you're in the room with them.
Yeah. They belong to you. You own them. You can physically, they're there with you. The sound
feels you.
It's amazing. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm there with you 100% too. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't care about that. So I guess when you think about album covers, you're thinking from your own purpose. You're thinking like, you know what, this is what I would want to see. This is what I like. So you kind of bring it to your own work, right?
I think that you know, like I know that the market's changed and like people's taste in music have changed. But like when you're making art, you should do it for yourself, and then if everybody else likes it, that's great. If they don't, they don't.
Yeah.
So like you gotta like what you put out, I think.
Exactly. Well, that you spoke to that a minute ago when you didn't end up liking what you did. You pulled it down. You didn't like it, so you weren't a fan of it. So you brought it down. You didn't leave it up there. So
like if you're having to go out and play music, play the songs every night, or play it wherever, or it gets played on the radio, and you have to listen to it and you don't like it, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You got to at least like it yourself, I think.
Exactly. How many times have you heard Wonderwall or Champagne Supernova or something that's like Money or Another Brick in the Wall over and over again? Great songs, but my God, if you don't hear them again, you're not gonna suffer.
No.
Are
the whole process, I think, is still important. The album covers and
yeah, I agree.
Even if it's important to you.
Yeah, 100%. Are you getting any kind of as far as airplay? I don't know what radio is like over there. You hear it's crap over here. Is it the same over there? Do you get any chance to get anything you do on the radio, even independent artist sections?
Well, I think, yeah, we get the small like crooks of the tiny areas that will play independent music, but a lot of Western countries, it's a sewn up shop.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like it was maybe sort of like 40 years ago or something.
Right.
Like it's very corporate in almost like in Canada necessarily, but like in Britain and Europe, it's large parts of what Western Europe is very Adele, Ed Sheeran centric or Coldplay centric, or like there's not much room for new music.
That's unfortunate. There's no place really for even radio stations, or we have over here what's called like college radio, which is basically independent, more stations that will pay more independent, play independent artists. Do you have something like that, a platform?
Yeah, like indie radio, yeah, but like a lot of it is like they play it and it gets like, you know, it's like playing it out to an echo chamber where no one listens to it.
All right, so it's played at different times of day when no one's tuned in or no one's listening.
Or the viewership isn't very big.
Or the viewership is the reach is not very big. Yeah, that sucks.
But I might try some college radio. Reaching out to see. I might try some college radio in Canada.
You have, or you will?
No, I will.
You will? Yeah. I don't know enough about. I can try to find. I can dig out some places. I don't know enough about it, but I can try to find some places for you to reach out to, or I can reach out on your
That'd
behalf.
be cool, yeah.
Try to, yeah. Just making big promises. We'll see what happens.
You're famous on Zoom, so
yeah, exactly.
I'm
hey, you know
well
me,
connected.
Chad Weiss on Zoom. I'm in Canada. In fact, not only am I in Canada, I'm in the heart of it, Ottawa. That's the capital. So hey, listen up. play Dan Hughes. I know what I'm talking about.
How are things out that way anyway? With the COVID, is everything kind of
everything's opened up? The mask mandates have been lifted, but people can still wear them if they want. Staff in stores still wear them. I still do because it doesn't matter either way to me. Like, I mean, you never know. Some places want it, some places don't. I don't want to guess. It's not a big deal. It seems like it's almost over. People's focus are on other things that are happening in the world, unfortunately, today. But there's always that thing in the background where it's looming, where people say, well, numbers are going up. Well, you got to watch out. We're hearing this, we're hearing that. I mean, it's always on the edge, it seems like, no matter what. And I think that's going to be like that for a while.
Yeah, similar here, really. Everything's kind of opened up, but people are still getting it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, same here. Is that affecting the venues you're playing? Like, do you have any restrictions at all with different places you're going, especially the further out you go? Or is it all pretty much
not anymore?
Yeah.
Maybe in more sort of like formal gigs. So like maybe
like corporate
places.
Yeah,
maybe more corporate places, possibly more dependent. I think it's like anything, isn't it? If you're that sick, you're too sick to leave the house anyway.
Yeah, so it's just like the flu. It's just like a cold. You won't go out if you're really that under the weather. You can't play. You can't work. Whatever. You're not going to go.
Most people know that. I think most people aren't stupid. They know that if they're not well, that they can't go out.
Yeah, you would think so.
If you're that sick, then you don't go out, do you? So.
Yeah, me definitely not. Yeah, I stay home. I stay home anyway, but I'll definitely stay home if I'm sick. So what does the rest of the year look like for you as far as shows? You have it all booked up for the rest of the year between you and the DHT. What's going on? How far away are you going from your home?
Well, it's hard to say because it depends on like it can change from an email. So someone can go like, oh, we want to book you and you're on the end of the country or you're an hour away. But I tend to try and stick within like a 2-hour remit. Like
because you're driving,
going back and stuff
because you're driving, right, with all the stuff, right? You don't want to be driving out too far, especially for nothing. Are you willing to go further if you can? Like, how far away could you
anywhere,
go?
Man.
How far
anywhere that has me, I will go.
Like, how far in Europe would you go as far as can you get to? I know it's different now with the working visas and stuff too. Things have kind of changed, right? Is that kind of
well, I haven't tested the waters on that since we come out. So I don't really know that detail of it. Certainly, I think for the end of the year, I feel as if, like, in terms of going away or touring or something like that, COVID's still about, and I don't think it's that easy just to travel, and other countries have different restrictions. So I think maybe I'll just stay in the UK for the next 6 months.
Are you satisfied with that for now? Just kind of getting your feet wet, getting back into it after being off for the better part of 2 years?
Well, yeah.
Just to kind of see how it's going to go and then kind of ease back into it and see what opens up and what doesn't open up. And if things change, at least you're not too far from home.
I've at least, you know, like, if the right opportunity came up and it wasn't there, then I'd give it a go.
Yeah, that's good.
But I think, like, at the moment, certainly, like, a lot of places aren't that easy to go to, and there's more rules with, you know, places that I probably go to at the minute are probably all quite closed up.
Oh,
like Eastern Europe is probably not a good place to go at the moment.
Right. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah.
You know, Asia's still quite closed up with the COVID thing, so maybe Canada.
You have to see what's going on, see how it goes day by day, right? Everything changes week by week. You
And
never
I've not
know.
really earned, like going touring abroad is like a big financial risk.
Yep.
So like, and I haven't really like most musicians, we've struggled with the past 2 years. So it's about getting myself back to that point where I'm confident enough to go and do something else with it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. It's reminding me of something we talked about last time too. I think during the downtime, during the lockdown and such, you were kind of filling your time work-wise by kind of writing for like different people, writing some commercial stuff. You were just doing other projects like that personally. Are you still kind
Yeah.
of doing that? And was that very lucrative for
Yeah, I
you?
have. Like so like I've been I'm still doing that, but it when you're gigging a lot, it can sort of take gigging can sort of take too much over
Mhm.
sometimes when you're trying to do stuff, or like I have a few projects on the go and making a new DHD album. So those things are still there, but it's just when other things when normal life resumes, it can be not that easy just to go and do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So were you able to basically support yourself during the pandemic with music, no matter what you were doing, whether it be yourself or other people's music
Yes,
you're
like
working on?
government help and writing for adverts and teaching, and like it wasn't
That's
easy,
right.
but I
Mhm.
managed to get through for all those things really.
And at least even though you're back on the road and you're doing things for yourself, you can still fall back on the teaching and other adverts and stuff. Is that still always going to be in your back pocket?
Definitely, yeah.
That's good to hear.
I get a lot out of teaching, man. It's cool when you get somebody who, different people come from different ages, kids, people, retired people. So like today I had a lesson, like, well, one kid was, and his son came, he must have been about sort of 9,
Oh well.
and he's learning, he's doing really well. And then like the next lesson I had was like a guy who just retired.
Oh wow. So you get a definitely different age.
Like both ends of the
Yeah.
spectrum, man.
Yeah. And spectrum. Exactly. Yeah. That's very
You
cool.
both get something out of them, mate. It's an amazing thing. Like playing
Yeah.
music is, whether it's playing, like I said to the guy that retired guy that came to his first lesson with me, and he says, yeah, and I said to him, it doesn't matter what level you get at, like to a degree, it's like it's what enjoyment you get out of it.
Yeah.
You don't have
Exactly.
to go and play like stadiums or play gigs in pubs or something. You can just play a few songs for your family around the campfire or around the barbecue, or so everybody has different things that they can get out of it. No,
Yeah, exactly. You get people with different ideas and different skill sets and different abilities or different abilities, right? So, I mean, that also challenges you, I think, as a musician too, because you're working with different people and kind of like finding your skills and finding what you can and can't do as far as helping people. Like, what challenges you, kind of thing. I would guess.
yeah. So like certainly because I don't teach grades as such. Well, I do, but not it's not my main thing. So like when I try and teach people, it's more like their personal journey.
Right.
Like some people want to learn because they want to play at home, or some people want to learn for their own pleasure, or some people want to go out and gig. Some people gig already and they want to improve their playing. So it's
Yeah, it's not all professional musicians or people that want to go on stage or what have you record. Some people just do it
no,
for many different reasons. Some just for themselves. So it's very, very wide and varied. That's cool.
it's like the bass player Bob that's in the band, like Bodrowski, he I got to know him through the fact that he went to lessons with me.
He came to you for lessons way back. That's how you
Yeah,
got. Oh wow. Okay.
yeah, like years ago.
Not only will I teach you, you can join my band. That's so. You taught
Literally,
him
that's
well. You taught him well. Then I guess you taught him enough to he come play with you.
well, I keep him in line.
Yeah, exactly. Is that how you got your drummer too? You taught him how to do.
Yeah, no, the drummer came
Yeah,
elsewhere.
that's cool. We never mentioned his name. Let's give a shout out to your drummer.
Oh,
What's his name?
Ian,
Ian.
Ian, man,
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
We
sorry.
always talk about Bob and of
The,
course
well,
Dan and the
the
drummer.
first album, the first album was a guy called Paul,
Okay.
and then String EP was Ian,
Okay.
and then
And Ian is going to stick with you. He's both from the string EP on
well,
to now.
Ian Strick stuck with us for the whole time
That's cool.
after Neil. So
Yeah, that's very, very cool. Does he do you guys, when you guys get together, do you still play songs from that first from Neil, and does he play them with you, or you guys move on from and just do string stuff?
No, we play all sorts of stuff.
Okay, that's very, very cool. You mentioned that you're working on new stuff for DHT with the band. Now you guys are back. Are you guys back in a room together doing like you wanted to and face to face? How's it coming along?
Well, we were before the start of the year, and then things taken a change. So it's kind of been put on hold at the moment. But
because of touring or because of just other stuff in your life?
Circumstances and gigging and
okay.
But there's nothing more than I wouldn't want anything more than coming back into the studio and do it like Neil.
That's your goal, is to go back and kind of not recreate, but kind of get that vibe back again from the first record?
Yeah, that vibe again. Yeah, like in my heart of hearts, that's what I would love to do. Potentially it could be the last album we do.
Really?
I'm not sure.
As the DHT? As the Dan Hughes Trio?
Possibly, yeah.
Can you say why you feel that way?
I don't know. Like sometimes you feel like it runs its course, but then I think that's probably the same. I feel like when we release String EP as well. So
do you feel that way after?
Try and treat every record as the last, maybe.
Are you one of those guys after the record? This I'm not making another one, and then 2 years later, okay, let's get back. Let's make another one.
We have quite inspiration. We have quite like our first album was 2016, and our next one, String EP, was 2020. So like, we're not really a band that just makes records. Like I don't want to feel like we're making an album because we're saying something.
Yeah, you do it when you're inspired to do it, right? When you feel like you have something to say and then you can do it under that DHT umbrella, you're gonna do it, right? Nothing wrong with that too. I mean, you get quality music that way, and you're doing EPs. You're not giving too much out there. You're giving quality songs when you feel inspired.
But I feel like in terms of like an album, like it needs to be something like that is said.
Yeah. Do you feel like maybe you'd want to do maybe just so? Correct me if or just for clarity, how many records are there of DHT? Is it just the two, the String and Neil?
There was the collaboration EP that we did,
the collab,
like London Heart and Breaking of the Day.
Okay.
But I kind of don't necessarily count them as like they are DHT, I suppose, but they're not. It's not like the way we did it with String EP or Neil.
It's not just the three of you guys. It's more of a collaborative with other people and the other ones. Versus, so basically, when it's the two records that are just DHT is String and Neil.
Really, yeah.
Right.
Well, I don't want to downplay the other two EPs because I think they're great. Like
no, but yeah, just if you're DHT, if you're looking for just straight the three guys in the room, the three DHT members, it's those two EPs. For clarity, for people who are looking, okay. And then you have the other collabs. So there's lots of music out there for DHT fans or people just discovering it.
Whereas I think in my mind that I'd like to go back to doing it that way.
Yeah. Is there a timeline? Is there a plan then, I guess, at some point? Have you guys locked down a date or time or weeks to get in and finally make this record, or are you just kind of playing it by ear?
Well, we did like we were doing that for about sort of like, because we used to do like once a week kind of thing, and we were doing that for like about a month, and then I got busy gigging,
right,
and then other things happened, and then we fell off the wagon. So it's like we have like about 3 tracks that we did, and that is interesting because it had quite an African feel to it.
Oh, nice, that's cool.
But it's like quite like it's quite kind of world musicy.
Oh wow,
like kind of trippy world musicy kind of thing.
That's pretty cool.
That's kind of like halted, so I don't know what that'd be like.
It sounds like it'd be pretty cool just on the surface. Are you planning to? It's going to be another EP, right? So another 3 or 4 songs on it, maybe, or less.
No, well, it's meant to be an album, but
it's gonna be a full album.
It was meant to be a full album, but because like things have sort of like been railroaded, it's sort of like it hasn't been done.
Right.
So whether we come back to that and finish that, I don't know.
I hope you do. I hope you guys can. even if you just get an EP, I know you wanted the full album. Even if you can get the 3, 4, or 5 songs out there, I'd love to hear it. You got me excited by the way you described it, man. So you don't leave me hanging.
Okay,
get it out there. I don't care what you gotta do. If you gotta record it yourself, I know you can do it. Do you play drums at all? Do you play all instruments?
I can play.
Okay,
Yeah, play drums. I can play drums.
Just get it out. Just find a way.
Yeah, but I feel like I'd be cheating on the other guys if I did that.
Yeah, I know. You can't do that. At least, well, hopefully, if you guys get together, just for even if it is the last one is the DHT, then you got to make it all. You got to do it all together and have a good final blowout. And this sounds like a good way to do it. If that's the case, hopefully not, but
I just want it to be right, if that makes sense. Like, I don't care about the time scale. Like, I just want it to be as good an album as we can make.
Right, because you don't, like you mentioned, we know you don't have a record label, you don't have a manager, producer that's out there saying you got to be finished by this day, this date, this date. You can do it at your leisure, which is great. That's the
but then I don't want it to be like Chinese democracy. So it's difficult.
Well, do you have $6 million to dump into a studio every year, or British pounds or whatever it is? You can put you got to put some money in there.
Maybe $60. I think is the best, probably.
Get Roy Thomas Baker to produce it, or someone like that over there.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh my God, that'd be crazy. But if you can make it, the thing about Chinese, you bring it up too. It's all the different musical styles and elements on that record. Kind of the way you're describing yours, it kind of might musically sound a bit like that, as far as different levels and different soundscapes.
I kind of hope not.
No,
well, not in a bad way, but like,
were you a fan of that record?
We're not like GNR.
No, I know, but were you a fan of that record though? Totally off topic.
Yeah,
it's great.
But I prefer the first record though. No,
most people do. Yeah, they're very different. You have to understand they're very different records, and you like this for this, and you like that for that. You know,
I'm not like the biggest. Well, I like musically, I like GNR, but like Axl's voice can drain on me a little bit. It's a bit whiny.
Yep, yeah, I can do that for sure, especially as he moved on in life, and it's different sounding on Chinese versus Appetite. He's like what 20 years difference between them. So yeah, things change for sure.
What do you make of the situation with the Foo Fighters?
I don't think they're gonna. If you're asking me if I think they're gonna stop, I don't. That's a Dave Grohl. It's always has been and always will be a Dave Grohl project. I mean, he's the guy. I don't see it stopping. Like most things, they just continue on, right? There's gonna be a period where they take time off the road, which they're doing now, kind of heal and process and give time to grieve. But people say this is the end of the Foo Fighters. They don't. It's an idea for sure. I mean, the fact that Taylor brought so much to that band that people could think that, but reality, it's Dave's project, and Dave's gonna be the guy to say when it's gonna stop and start. It's not gonna be, it's gonna stop and start with him. Nothing against Taylor, but I mean, it's Dave's baby. It's Dave's thing. Dave Grohl.
But Taylor brought a lot to that back. To be honest with you, Taylor brought a lot. Did bring a lot.
100%. Oh yeah, I wouldn't discredit what he's done or what he's done. And Dave's given him that platform, to kind of shine and to branch out and do things too. But at the end of the day, I mean, when you think of Foo Fighters, if you only know one person, it's Dave, and he started it. He played all the stuff. He brought it to life. I'd be shocked if he didn't do something else, even if it was just a tribute to Taylor and move on. I'd be shocked if Foo Fighters ended. It's a big machine. It's a big
corporate machine as well. And it's a big corporate rock. Like it's probably one of the only left now, really.
Yeah. Between that and Metallica, it's really those are the big ones, right?
Yeah.
As far as and YouTube.
Possibly Chili Peppers.
Yeah. Chili Peppers surprised me. They're doing pretty well, and they actually play stadiums. I don't know about over there, but here in North America, they're playing big ass stadiums, and I couldn't believe how big they've gotten in their later years. Maybe I think John Frusciante helps with that, having him in the band.
I think the John Frusciante factor is a big thing. I think people are interested when he's on board. Really, outstanding.
No offense to Josh, the guy who was there for 10 years, but I mean,
he was great.
It's Frusciante for sure. He's the guy.
There's something religious about John Frusciante when he's been in Chili Peppers.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Sure,
he's great records from 88 to 99 or 2006, and then now it's those records are what Chili's are known for sure.
Yeah, I think once the cold light of day comes out of it, I think when they look back at Chili Peppers' career, it'll be those records that they
Yeah.
people will gravitate towards.
Yeah, that's what got them on the map for sure. Mother's Milk, blood sugar, sex magic, the Californication, all that stuff. Even that
By the
period when he
way,
was, yeah, even that period when Dave Navarro was in it, when he was out in the mid '90s. That one record they did, well, I
One
think it
Hot
was,
Minute.
yeah, that one just it didn't do really anything
There was some
compared
good
to.
stuff on that album
Oh
though as
yeah,
well. There was some good
Aeroplane. There's
stuff.
some great stuff on there. I love it, but it's not the same. It's not. People know the band now by John Frusciante. They know him. They know him better than the guy before that was in Hillel Slovak. I mean, they know this is the guy. This is the guitarist in Chili Peppers. It's John. It's John's thing.
Do you are you a fan of Jane's Addiction?
A little bit. It didn't get. I wasn't a huge fan. I like a few of those things they've done.
Were they big in Canada?
The what is that record there in '89? Habitual del, what is that? I forget the name of the record, but the one that has Been Caught Stealing, that was big here. That one in '89 or '90, whatever that record was, that was a big deal. But after that, no. And I didn't really get into them as much personally.
But Taylor played with a lot of Canadian artists, no?
Yeah, he played with Alanis Morissette, and he played on tours with Sass Jordan. He was on a bunch of those things. Yeah, he did. He played with those two ladies.
Sass Jordan is because I actually got to learn about her music after Taylor passing away.
Oh, yeah?
She's predominantly just big in Canada, nowhere else kind of thing. Or
yeah, I mean, she was kind of a mid '90s, early '90s type of thing. She's kind of not as much in the spotlight now. I don't even know if she's even doing new music. Alanis was way bigger, I would say, world globally, for sure.
Were they Alanis and Sass, were they like on the same circuit then?
Sass is older. She came along before. I would say not quite. They're definitely at different levels, if I could say that. I think they appeal to different people. Well, these days everything kind of runs together. If you ask, anyone can be fans of anything, all different genres. But back then, I would say you'd be very different listening to Alanis versus someone listening to Sass Jordan.
She kind of reminds me, like her voice kind of reminds me of.
Or runs together now, is what I was saying.
Kind of reminds me of like 70s rock.
Sass?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And Alanis did two things, right? When she first came out in '91, she was like that Madonna, like poppy Janet Jackson type of, which was great. I loved her first album actually for what it was. But then when Jagged Little Pill came out in the '90s, that angry, aggro,
Janis Joplin kind of.
Yeah, it singer-songwriter stuff. It really changed, and she became, and that changed eventually after that too. So she went on a number of different paths where I think Sass kind of stuck with her, with what she started, her roots, and she's a different generation, Sass for sure.
But Taylor Hawkins played with both of them, right?
Yeah, on tours. I don't know exactly which tours he played, but yeah, he played with them. I like one of his side projects. I think I told you about Birds of Satan. It was like an EP they did in 2014.
I like that as well. Yeah, I also like the Coattail Riders as well. They're good.
Yeah, a couple of things are good from there. I didn't get into the Coattail Riders as much, but that Birds of Satan thing, and I think he had a new project too with Dave Navarro. Speaking of him, and the other guy they did a cover of that Level 42 song, Something About You from the '80s. It was great.
I
loved it.
Are you a Foo Fighters fan? Are you?
Not hugely. A few songs here and there, but it didn't really do a lot for me. If I'm being honest again. I'm a music snob.
I think it's they're like, as a live band, there's no doubt they're a good live band.
100%. The things they do, the guests they've had Rick Astley play with them. They've had all kinds of people come up on stage. They cover all types of different genres. Dave's a huge music fan. Dave is big into heavy metal as much as he's into 80s pop. So it's very cool. He has that Dream Widow thing from that movie. That record.
Yeah, I listened to that album, man. It's a good record.
Yeah, that's very it's very different. I'd love to hear you do that, Dan. Play some.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's on the HD album, man.
Like, I want to hear some complete speed metal out of you, some good old British heavy, new wave of British heavy metal, man. That's your next record. Make it happen.
Yeah, but I find Foo Fighters maybe because they're quite corporate. Like, I feel like their music can be quite safe. Yeah.
100%, especially the late '90s into the 2000s, like that Learn to Fly period. That whole, they were all over the radio with their very safe, soft songs. And Dave's come in and out of that. He's gone to heavier stuff like Rope or White Limo or songs like that. He's gone in and out of his love of rock. You can tell he likes different styles. He plays with the sound that I think Foo Fighters is, but ultimately if you ask anybody, even a casual person, what Foo Fighters music is, it's that softer corporate radio rock, I think, as a whole.
Best of You kind of.
Yeah, Best of You. Yeah. It's not like Monkey Wrench. It's not like, Everlong. It changed, which it's expected. Every artist change, especially when they get that big. They go
The
with
Colour and the
whatever's-
Shape is my favorite. Definitely, it's my favorite Foo Fighters album.
That's I think Taylor played a couple songs on that. He's not all on the
Yeah.
whole record, but he joined
Yeah.
after that for sure. The one that had Learning to Fly in '99 and all that other garbage. But yeah,
The first three Foo's albums, I think, are the best.
yeah, the first one that Dave did all by himself, the first one in '95, I think that's the one that had Monkey Wrench on it. That one was heavier, and that was more like that was a period piece. It was mid '90s. It was right after Nirvana. It was just like his statement. And then after that, obviously, with different people coming in it and Taylor, it changed it for sure, for the better, as far as successful. But it's a great body of work that he's left behind, no matter what anyone thinks of what it is. You can like it or don't, but he's left a big mark for sure. So sad to hear for his family mainly.
Yeah, that's the thing that I think that I when I heard the news of that, it was more than anything else, is the fact that he's quite young.
Yeah, he was only 50.
Family, really.
Yeah, he's on tour. Like, to think about my friend Kevin, who does the Paradise City show with me, brought it up on the show. He said, how hard is it for his family to say goodbye to him when he went on tour and he's not coming home? That's sad.
It's heartbreaking, isn't it?
No matter what. Yeah. No matter what, we as fans can talk about how great he was, but man, as a husband and father, that's the loss right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go in a couple minutes. I got another interview coming up soon too. I gotta get my makeup on and get ready to go for that. But
it's always a pleasure, man. I always enjoy speaking to you. It's always chilled and fun.
Yeah, me too. I want to know next time we talk for sure. I hope you'll be able to tell me that you at least got another record out there and you've been able to do more stuff. I want to talk to you when that drops. If it does drop, I want to know how that went, and we'll catch up.
I hope so, man. Too. Yeah, I'll try my best to make that happen.
Yeah, make it happen. I know you can, my friend. You're awesome. You can make it work.
Cool. All right.